Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. HittnerGroup.com, Hittner Group, HittnerGroup.com, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling. Happy to have a chat with you about your real estate needs, getting ready to sell this spring. And, of course, that first conversation was with no cost and absolutely no obligation. HittnerGroup.com. Okay, so here we go, kids. Ready? We're coming in 8th week of the year. All excited. 8th week of the year. Back to the future. That's what I'm calling it. Back to the future. Because we are at the same, almost the same level of inventory as 2019, 7 years ago.
Really?
So we have 5,900 homes on the market in this 8th week in 2019, and today, as this week, we have 5,895, so 45 homes less than in 2019.
Back to those pre-COVID levels.
Back to the pre-COVID base year levels.
His favorite statement.
Yeah.
In 2019, 802 homes sold through this week, new pendant sales. This week, 765. Last week, it was 653. So up a bit, 17% increase over the previous week. And homes that are closed, I don't like looking at this one too much. It's 519 homes closed this year, 634 homes closed this week in 2019. You know, closing dates kind of get pushed around depending on this, that, and the other thing. They don't matter as much as the pending dates do.
Is that normal? 500 year to date?
500
low.
Weekly.
weekly. 500
okay.
for this week closings. 765 is pretty good actually because that's up a bit from last year, and it's just under what it was in 2019, the base year. So if you eliminate all these middle years where the interest rates were stupid, you know, going one way or the other, that affected everything, it really is
Stupid low.
stupid low.
Stupid low.
You know what's
fantastic though while it lasted.
Here's this. The contract ratio. So that's the number of pending homes for sale versus the entire global market, 7-county metropolitan area. 46%. So when it's below 50%, that would be weighted buyer. Okay? When it's over 50%, that'd be weighted seller. So like in 23, when the rates were at 1%, it was 77% was the contract. It was like heavily weighted seller, right?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of weighted buyer, which is curious because the absorption rate is, we're still at 2 months of inventory on the market.
Which would lean towards the seller's
Which would lean
market.
towards buyer.
I think it
or
just
seller.
really depends on. I mean, I think it just really depends on the location, like we were chatting about earlier. You know, and for your house, even like we were just discussing, getting an offer on the property in St. Paul. I'm assuming you've had plenty of showing activity over there.
Tons of
and
showing activity.
like we're seeing, if houses are sitting on the market a little bit, you'll still end up in a multiple offer situation. If you go and fish around a little bit, knowing that an offer is coming in or have that offer in hand, there's a lot of fence sitters for different reasons, financial reasons, or just waiting for more inventory to come on the market or the next best thing, you know, not being able to make a decision, especially in that price point where you're looking at a lot of first-time home buyers that are looking in that price point. Their decisions aren't as quick as they used to be because they don't have to be because market times are a little bit slower.
Yeah, market time in that area is
so
going
you
to be
still
45,
could end
50.
up with multiple offers on there if you play your cards right. You never know.
We'll see
if
what
there's
happens.
some people in the background waiting.
Right.
You know, but then again, conversely, like we were talking about in a higher price point, you know, 700 to $1 million, shopping around in particular areas like Edina in particular, missed out on a property going $40,000 over the asking price, still didn't get the house, and then had to do the same on the next one. In a multiple offer situation. Lots of multiple offers depending on location.
I'm really curious what's going to happen. I got a couple of properties coming on, one in Jordan on 10 acres, 11 acres, 1,885,000. I'm curious about that property because it's just unique, right? And there aren't very many of them.
Right.
But there's also not very many people can
Right. There's not many either side,
buyers.
right?
And then we have another one in Medicine Lake. That's $1.5 million coming on the lake, on the water. Nice, gorgeous. So I'm curious. I'm just really curious on how that's going to perform too. If we get the showing activity, and because there's properties out there, if you are looking, there just aren't any. Aren't that many. And I did a market this week. I was telling Keith at Coffee Clutch in Mac Groveland.
Okay.
Yeah, probate house, and I was shocked actually at how many properties I had to look at to do the market on.
For comps.
For
Available
comps, I mean,
yeah.
it's like holy.
Yeah, already this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been
Yeah, I think
tremendous.
the city's kind of popping off, like I was saying, in popular areas of Minneapolis, in Minneapolis specifically, and in St. Paul. I know you got a couple things going on over there, but it seems like around the lake areas and things like that, it's kind of moving the popular neighborhoods that we see. So open houses have been busy in the city. I got a lot of folks that are just popping into some open houses in the city in Minneapolis, South Minnie, and they're busy, and we're seeing multiple offers on those properties too.
And then we did a little study a couple weeks ago on the city of Minneapolis, just curious about what the protest activity in a little bit of political upheaval that's been going on in there, and how it has impacted, or if it has impacted the market in the city. No impact at all.
Really?
Zero impact. Yeah. So we've got one coming on Elliott, 30th and Elliott, right behind Chicago Lake Liquor Store. I mean, it literally backs up to the parking lot of Chicago Lake.
Convenient.
Very convenient. Very convenient.
I love that that's where you went.
Yeah. I mean, we got to sell it.
Yeah, sell it.
So we'll see
walkable.
how
It's
that
walkable.
one, because that's right on the front lines, if you will. So we'll see what kind of an activity gets out there. But I mean, it's going to be under 300.
Well, it's interesting that we had 3 PAs come in over the weekend. 2 were in multiple offers, and 1 we got seller paid closing costs on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Different areas, Calvin, or
yeah.
where were they? Yeah, different areas.
Different
of town.
areries,
How
different
about
price
price
points.
points?
Price points were high on the multiple offers and low on the one we got FHA deal. Just a tougher, rougher home.
Right.
Yeah.
And got seller pays on it, got everything. Missing a railing. I mean,
Yeah.
got the appraisal back, like called the real, like you see it, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're walking through it, you kind of knew, like, oh, why do we have this?
Yeah, they're all
Why was this
surprised.
called?
Right.
I'm like, you see it, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no
You know what they got to do? They got to get the handyman out there to fix it.
handyman out there.
Get that up,
right
clean
there.
it up.
Yeah,
That's what you
actually
got to
a deal
do.
for you.
All right. So, what else is going on in the market? We got 1,000 houses came on the market last week. New listings on the market. I thought that's a lot. That's a big chunk. Inventory is kind of jumping up now. So there is I don't see any kind of shortage of inventory anywhere. I mean, if you have a buyer that's serious, unless they're getting it's really dialed into house school district, or they want to be on a certain block or something like that, there's plenty to look at with people.
Really, all over the city too, right?
Pretty much all over the city, and we're doing business now all over the city too, because we got stuff going on in like virtually everywhere, and even in the northern suburbs, there's just good activity coming up, good opportunities. I like to do open houses, so it's like I look at my list and it's like, God, I wish I was 6 people, because to go in to do open. I don't know.
Oh, you're 2.
I'm just
you'd have Junior actually.
Yeah. Getting him to do an open house is like pulling hen's teeth, though. It's just like I like doing open houses.
All kinds of people that want to do open houses.
I know it, but I just like to do it. I love the interaction with people. They come in and they're all wide-eyed, and some of them are all guarded. They just don't want to talk to you because you're the big bag realtor going to try to sell them something they don't want.
Yeah.
It's like, no one's going to sell you anything you don't want. Right. Either if you like it, great. If you don't, well, that's okay too.
How about this time of year, Calvin? You seen any appraisal issues coming in? Because we have kind of slower sales over the last few months. On some of our, I bring it up because on some of our multiple offers, we've been doing appraisal gap coverages again because of moving the needle a little bit on the pricing.
No, we haven't seen anything. It's more in refis. We're just trying to figure out again back in that realm, like where are prices going to fall? And it's really hard to have any sort of indication on that. But on purchases, we haven't had I can't remember last time we had an issue on value. Values are coming in good, coming in actually over the purchase price. Which, if an appraisal comes in over on a purchase, it means it's really better, because the appraiser just kind of says, "Hey, is this worth what you're
going to
buying
support
it for?"
the purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when they come above it, it's like, man, that you got a really good deal there. So no appraisal issues on purchases.
That's good.
I forwarded you an article. You can maybe comment in the fourth segment, but I forwarded you an article from Homes.com. Did you see that?
Yes.
Where they're talking about the arms. I love arms. And they're talking
segment
about
on
the,
it.
oh, good. I'll talk about arms.
Maybe you could pull it up on your computer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's black screen.
Yeah, dead battery computer.
Nice.
Come prepared next time, Calvin.
I
Come
got it.
prepared.
It's all written down on my sheet of paper.
All right.
Old
well,
school.
Calvin's going to prepare over break here, and we'll be right back with more Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, HITTNER group.com, or give us a call, 612-627-8000. That number again is 612-627-8000, and we'll be right back.
So we've got Ethan and Ann in the studio. They have a company that is the savior, if you will, to every real estate agent on the planet. So if you're an agent and you're out there listening, pay attention, because it's the Handyman Connection. And every house that you go into, like Keith always says, if it's broke, fix it. If it's dirty, clean it. If it needs paint, paint it. And so many times, I'll give you a perfect example. So I'm out doing a market on this house yesterday in Mac Groveland area. It's a probate house. So the personal rep is in Florida. And so the neighbor's got a key, so I meet him. We walk through the house. It's a perfectly fine house, but something, it's got a lot of stuff, because in most probate houses, you've got an elderly person who's been living in the house for a number of years. They haven't really been doing the greatest job in the world of maintaining it. And so it just needs some stuff. So I go out the back door. It's got a screen door on it. And the screen door is like, the hinges are like detaching. And the neighbor said, "Yeah, we tried fixing that, but they couldn't. It came out again." It's like, well, that's because it wasn't fixed correctly. You can fix that. But it's those kinds of things that there is no seller to do. The agent isn't going to do it in most cases. So we need someone to call, and it's almost impossible to find people to do that kind of work. So you guys bought this company, Handyman Connection. Is it a franchise, or how does that work?
It is a franchise.
It is a
Keith.
franchise.
Yep.
So you bought that when?
So a couple months ago.
Okay.
So I left corporate America after 35 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
My husband has been doing this type of work for multiple years.
Okay.
And, he would come home and, say, "Hey, I fixed a sump pump," or I refaced someone's deck. And the customer was ecstatic, right? It's either, made them and their home better. And I'm like, you know what? You're really in the business of like reducing stress and making people happy. And I'm like, that's kind of a cool business,
That's
to be in. And so decided that we would look on the market, saw Handyman Connection, been around for 10 years. So it's got a history and a reputation. Strong staff, strong people. I brought Ethan here with me too, the general manager. So we did buy it a couple months ago. So we've only been in it for a couple months, but certainly getting the vibe that, to your point, people need the help.
What about the connection part of it then? It's like what we've found, because we've had dozens of I've been doing this for 40 years. We've had dozens of handymen. And it seems like they want to be a handyman. They go out, and then before long, they don't want to come and fix the screen door.
Yeah, before long, jobs are too small. Everybody's, jobs are not too small.
Right.
Hit us up. But then they get so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to deal with that.
Yeah, so we scale anywhere from, about 5 to 20 craftsmen, depending on the time of the year. So winter, just like real estate, it gets slower. In the summer, it really ramps up. So the Handyman Connection part is, yes, we have handyman, but we also have crews that'll do full remodels or full deck builds. And if there's something that we don't do, our goal is to always give a good reference. So, for example, this morning, a customer we're building a 3-season porch for down in Farmington. She texts me and says, "Hey, I have this house up in St. Paul. Got some folks living in it, and I need an appliance repair person." I told her, "Hey, I'm not able to help, but let me put some feelers out and see if I can find a good connection for you so that I can still service this customer and just build that long-term relationship."
So if I'm a carpenter listening to the program right now, and I'm a good carpenter, but I'm not a good marketer.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing for me to do is to call you guys and say, hey, can I become part of your network? And you give me business, and I can go out and do the work.
Absolutely. And we do that all the time. We're continually looking for good people, good craftsmen. We're licensed, we're bonded, and so background checked, etc. So knowing that we do that, but absolutely, if there's tradesmen out there that are interested, they should give us a call.
So you're our concierge of home repair.
Yep, exactly.
Is what it is. What do you got, Cal?
What type of services do you offer?
So I'll break it up into 4 parts. Okay. So Handyman Connection hourly services. So and just as it's described, hey, we've got to come in and solve a problem. We can come in and do it. It's going to be an hourly rate. Let's just call it, and that tends to be less than $1,000. It might take a day, it might take a couple days, but usually under 1,000. And then if we think about 1,000 to maybe 8,000, Handyman Connection medium project services that can come in and the kids kicked a hole in the drywall and we need to come in and get that fixed. And then handyman services remodel. So as Ethan said, whether it's a bathroom or it's a hey, we need our basement finished, to hey, we want
a 4-season porch.
Or a 4-season porch. Hey, we want this living room turned into a den. Come in and do that remodeling, and then just to the point of handyman services, decks, fences, porches. So I break it up into those 4 categories because they are different type projects.
Yeah.
And some have some seasonality to them, right? And so so as we market, etc., kind of marketing to some of those various service areas.
Okay.
What about, so in terms of your staffing, so I'm connection, so I'm thinking that you're connecting to people who do not work for you. Is that right? Or do you have employees,
Yes.
that you have, it's like staff, handy guys, or is everything like a referral? Like I know a guy, so I'm going to have him go over there. We'll take care of all the billing and all of that stuff. And is that how it works, or am I not understanding that correctly?
So we're general contractors. So
Okay.
we both have employees and subcontractors.
Right.
We treat them pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So we background check whoever's working for us to make sure that anybody going into a customer's home is somebody that we trust. As far as the project, we act as the general contractor. So the contract would be with Handyman Connection.
Right.
Sign the estimate and move forward. You'd pay us, and we manage the project from start to finish. A designated project manager on that project, and then usually an initial and a final walkthrough depending on the job size.
So when I take my car in to have something done on it, they'll go to their manual, whatever it is, and this is what it is, and they say, this is how many labor hours, and this is what the blah blah blah, and this is what it's going to cost. That's the estimate, how it comes. Is it similar for you guys, or is it a little bit more difficult?
It's similar. It can be really tricky to get a formalized pricing sheet because we do so many different types of projects, and as you probably know, every home is just a little bit different.
Yeah, and there's different levels of finish, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. We work towards the customer's budget. That's actually one of our initial questions, not so that we can creep up towards it, but so that we can service them to what their goals are and meet those goals.
But a garbage disposal is a garbage disposal. So if it's can you come and put a garbage disposal
Well,
in?
you can get 5 grades of garbage
Well,
disposal,
that's
so
the question.
You
then,
can put
is-
all the potatoes down you want in some of them.
Yep. And then how good's the plumbing beneath it? What do we actually need to replace?
Okay.
So it can be tricky. A lot of those big companies out there that do just plumbing or just electrical, they have their pricing sheets so that they can have their folks come in and price things really quickly. For us, it's more personal. When we're looking at a project as a project manager estimating, we're usually thinking in our mind, I've got Chris and I've got Angel to do these projects, and I'm going to give them a call. So I'll actually call them and say, hey guys, here's the description. I know what they typically charge, asking them about the budget, and then just spinning that towards what my pricing reflects back to the homeowner.
So do you have your contractors go out to every project and bid it, or do you just give them a description of it?
So it depends. It depends on the job size.
Okay.
Good question. So we take photos when we walk through our estimates, and we have an app that all of our contractors that work with us share. So we'll take photos, take a good description of the project, and then once we book the project, depending on the job size, if it's a full deck, or if it's I've got a large one starting next week where somebody's selling their house down in Lakeville, and she's
Wait a minute. Did I get the referral? Did we get the referral on that?
I think he knows a guy.
I didn't even get in soon
And we
enough.
just met you today.
Okay.
So she said, hey, I've got these these 12 different things, and here's my general budget on what I want to spend in order to sell my house. So I went through, I priced all of them. It was $30,000 above her budget. So we worked backwards towards her budget, lopped a few things off. And since there's enough projects, on Monday, I'm bringing in 2 of my guys, one that's focuses on paint and stain and one that's more of a handyman and carpenter. We're walking through, finalizing our pricing. Regardless of what we finalize, the homeowner's price is already contracted. She's not going to have a change order. And then once we have all our ducks in a row, we go and execute so she can get it listed in April.
So you go in yourself, you'll go in and price it out. Then you'll also bring in contractors after that to walk through and get a final price?
Yep.
So it's 2 appointments?
Not always, again, not always, but it depends on the job site. If it's a large enough job, if we're doing, for example, if we're doing a basement remodel, right? We've got a basement remodel going on in St. Paul. I've got probably 7 different groups that are working on the project. So oftentimes, somebody will be working. I'll walk somebody else through, get my pricing aligned, and then all of that happening in the background while the homeowner just sees a consistent, smooth process.
Cool. All right. That's one segment with you guys. You're going to stick around for another. We'll chat a little bit more. Handyman Connection, handymanconnection.com. Do we need the / Eden Prairie, or can they find us?
They'll find us either way.
All right. You can Google it or log on to handymanconnection.com. More when we return there. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com. That's HITTNER group.com.
Hey, welcome back to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com. HITTNER Group, GROUP, for the people in Iowa, hittnergroup.com. 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling. Happy to have a chat with you. Spring is here, and it's time to get your house ready for sale. And we got the company here that can help you do that, Handyman Connection. Talking with Ethan and Ann. Ann, I got a question for you. So now you came from corporate America into franchise ownership. Tell me about that transition. I mean, how do you think of your life differently now as an owner versus, a cog in the wheel of corporate America?
Right. I'd say the biggest change, Keith, is I'm used to. I came from a pretty big company, a huge company, and I am used to having an IT area. I'm used to having an HR area. I'm used to having this area, right? And I'll say things get done for you, per se, right?
Right.
This is much more of you got to, dig in.
Yep. You got 6 different hats on the table at any one time.
Yep. Which I love. It's great. It's great, right? But and I knew that coming into it that would be the case, right? That you just can't run a small business that way. So it's been a good adjustment, but there will be times where I look at Ethan, I'm like, have you ever done that? And he'll be like, nope. And I'm like, okay, well, now we got to go figure it out, right? And so,
that's great.
So that, I would say that's probably been the biggest, and it's not an aha.
Yeah.
It's just a learning curve on some things.
What did you bring from your corporate job that you feel was valuable in terms of a skill set?
Yeah. So I do have a finance background, so I can manage that piece of it. Also had moved into IT, so I do know enough about IT to be dangerous. Obviously, it changes fast, so you got to keep up with it. And then I did a lot of transformation within the organization, and so how do we do things more effectively and efficiently, and how do we start, driving, some cost out, and how do we do that and still maintain the top line? And so I'd say a pretty broad skill set, if you will, and it's been advantageous so far.
Question for you. So you said your husband was doing this prior, right? So why Handyman Connection versus just putting up your shingle yourself? Like why buy into a franchise or do that? What was the advantage?
Yeah.
there?
So honestly, I wanted something that was already established, right? And I'll say and running, right?
Yeah.
And so again, 10 years of being in business. We've got a nice repeat customer list, over 50% of the business, which told me that, hey, we do good work, and people want to come back. And same with referrals, right? You're going to only refer somebody if you are happy with them.
Right.
And I did have the opportunity to meet the team. Ethan was on the team, is on the team, and got the confidence that, hey, you know what, we could step into this, and our ambition is to grow it. And so felt pretty comfortable we could do that with the foundation that has been set.
So there's a previous owner. It was here locally for 10 years. Okay. Not
Correct.
just Handyman Connection nationally was here. Okay.
Correct.
So
Correct.
here in the Twin Cities, 10 years.
Yes.
Previous owner wanted to get out and you came in and
Exactly.
bought it. That's
Exactly.
awesome. Okay.
Exactly.
Great.
What are the biggest challenges that you guys encounter on a daily basis that are hurdles that you are just trying to figure out how to overcome? Is there something that a roadblock?
I would say probably the growth. I mean, we've been around for 10 years and we've done consistent revenue over the past probably 5 or so years. And now we've got
Consistent, like flat or growing?
up and down,
Okay.
back and forth.
Okay.
Yep.
So
So within the same general ballpark.
All right.
And now knowing that hey, we've got some big ambitions, the new owners coming in,
Yeah.
some fresh energy in the building.
Right.
We're really looking for ways to grow, and a lot of times that's tough because when we're going from X revenue to Y revenue, we can't necessarily just hire an additional person, right? Like Ann said, we've got to look at each other and say, who's going to go figure this out and
Yeah.
who's going to take on that additional workload. So that's probably the biggest thing, but that's one of the things I like the most about the job is every single day it's different, right? I'm going to meet a customer this day and I'm going to work on the business this day and I'm going to go work in the business the next day. So it's always changing.
Yeah, so the bandwidth to handle the capacity increase is a challenge, just because your vendors too, the people that your people that you're working with, they're actually going out doing the work.
Exactly.
Well, I suppose you wouldn't know. I've
been here for about 4.5 years.
Okay,
so I went through COVID.
You did, so you could see how that a lot of people got out, of different things.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that coming from corporate America, we see it in real estate all the time. You'll have people that got downsized out or whatever it is out of corporate America, and then they get their real estate license, and they wash out. I mean, they just because they're used to a very structured environment where they have a specific job that they do every day, whatever that job is, but they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And in real estate, it's different every day. I mean, it's so fluid, and the market is so fluid too. So then I want to know how you deal with licensed contractors. So you're a general contractor. So you have different trades that are, need to pull permits and all that stuff. Where do you kind of, where does that meet the line, so to speak, when the handyman can go out there and you put a garbage disposal in, but at what point do you need to pull permits and get a plumber? How do you determine that, and how because that's kind of a fluid thing too, where all of a sudden someone's up against it and like, oh, I'm stepping over the line here.
Yeah, permits can be tricky because every city is different. The state of Minnesota has their own regulations, and any city can go above and beyond those regulations for decks, for plumbing, for anything really. And then dealing within Minneapolis and St. Paul,
itself,
those two alone are their own animals. So we carry the general remodel permit, so we could technically go build a house. Now, we're not going to because we want to stay in our lane and do what we know. As far as our subcontractors that work with us, anybody that's doing carpentry or drywall or painting, they typically don't need their own building permit to work for us because we carry that license, we pull the general permit. Now, for plumbers and electricians, we don't have any masters on staff. So we do have to be careful with what we do. People will ask us to, hey, just move this light switch real quick. And yes, it is simple, but no, it's not something that we can do. We can, however, subcontract one of our electricians that we know or one of our plumbers that we know to come in. So typically what we draw the line at is if we're moving anything behind a wall, we need our master to come in with those other companies.
Up the panel.
If we're switching a fixture, right? If we're doing a single thing at a time, that's typically when we'll call it a handyman service.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, question. Walk through job responsibilities. Like, what's the team look like today? What's your role, and what do you do? And then what do you do? Like, what's your day-to-day look like?
I'm just trying to figure mine out still.
Okay.
But
you have all those hats in front of you.
Right.
You choose which
So
one to put
I would
on.
say, in simple terms, I'm running the business. So call it, I don't know, CEO is a little bit too extravagant, but I do have my hands in the finance. I do have my hands in HR. I do have my hands in the marketing, et cetera, right? And so in addition to trying to figure it out, and also in a position now, I want to go out and see the customer, right?
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can all sit behind a desk and, punch
do
our
our
computer.
thing. Right.
But until you actually, touch and feel and talk to a customer, that's really how you understand what their challenges are, right? And how can we help them? And so I do intend to start doing some of that as well.
Ethan, what's your role?
So I'm the general manager. So I was also wearing a lot of different hats. Right now, especially what it means is I'm out selling a lot of work. Spring is coming. temperatures are getting warmer, phones start ringing a little bit. We've got the convention center home and garden show going on right now. We've got somebody at a booth as we speak. So I'm out estimating a lot of new work and then managing those projects. That takes up probably a little over half of my week. Is my own individual projects. Now, I'm also meeting with the team. So we've got a couple folks here in the U.S. and a couple folks actually remote in the Philippines that answer our phones for us. The folks in the U.S., both local, located in Bloomington at our office. We've got one schedule manager who focuses from the moment a customer signs a contract to the end of the project and making sure they have a voice to be heard. And then our office manager who manages a few financial and bookkeeping items as well as the billing at the end of a project.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys are located in Bloomington, where your office is. You're centrally located. A lot of times franchises have zones that they can work. There's no other franchise in the area, so you guys get run of the Twin Cities.
Yeah,
is that
exactly
where
right.
you have a preference area, or talk about your location?
Exactly right. I mean, technically, we can do anything. We can work anywhere, right? Practically, right? What makes sense. So, in being in Bloomington, and we do, I would say, focus on, call it Rogers up in the north, all the way down to the Chaskas, the Bloomingtons, the Edinas. South, where you got Lakeville, etc. And we do start to curl around into Eagan, and we are doing some things in St. Paul. Don't avoid, but less up in the St. Paul north suburbs.
Okay.
Right. Northeast suburbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Woodbury isn't your hot spot.
We'll go to Woodbury if it's the right project, especially if it's a repeat customer or a referral from a repeat customer, for example. But we're just not advertising out there.
Right.
Ann is located in Chaska. I live down in Prior Lake, Lakeville area. Our office is in Bloomington. So we just like to work close to home.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate the chat. Give us your contact information. Best way for folks to get a hold of you.
Yeah, best way for folks to get a hold of us is to call our number at 952-563-8200. That's our main office line, or visit us at handymanconnection.com.
Handyman Connection, handymanconnection.com. Thanks for coming in. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk. We're going to head out to break. We'll be right back with the mortgage segment and Calvin Kamink. Give us a call, 612-627-8000, or log on to our website, hittnergroup.com. Search for property, check your home's value, all on hittnergroup.com, and we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Big money segment of the program. Calvin Kamink, ladies and gentlemen, Loan Depot, 651-231-2500. That's the mortgage hotline. Free money.
Almost free right now.
Yeah.
Had a fun thing this week. So, as you've been in the business 24 years, right? Know a lot of people in the industry. So, oftentimes when one of us is frustrated in our network, like, hey, what's your pricing on this? What's your price on that? So, we were looking at pricing this past week on Home Ready and Home Possible products, and that's a Freddie and Fannie product, and you have to be under a certain 80% of the area median income. So, you have to be around, depending on the family size, there's a number, right? So, but very popular product, and we have a $3,000 grant we give along with it. This other company called us and said, hey, what are you guys doing? Where are your rates? And we were 90 basis points better in rate.
Oh.
So create like almost 1% better in rate, and we give a $3,000 grant with it. And they're like, how? So it was a fun conversation. It's always fun because everybody, to be honest, everybody's always within about 10 to 20 basis points of each other. It's like, what are you guys at? Oh, yeah, okay. So just kind of a way that we can just kind of check the competition, check, like how's everybody pricing, because most people set their own pricing and stuff like that.
That speaks a lot to the efficiency of your company, because everyone's pulling money from the same pot.
It's the same pot of money,
right?
So it's kind of good, and we don't. So a lot of people on that, what happens is there's loan level price adjustments, right? And we give that back to the consumer, where most companies are keeping that, and they're trying to then make it up on their conventional pricing. It's kind of a game. Like, how do we, if you think of gauges, like, how do I turn this one so I make and throw that one down and this one up a little bit?
Different companies have a different product mix too, based on their consumer.
Yeah. So it's always kind of interesting. So give me a update on the real estate market real quick.
Update on the real estate market is we're back to the future of 2019, about the same level of inventory, about the same flow through. Interest rates are actually about the same as 2019. I mean, we're in the high fives and low sixes in 2019. So normal as normal can be. I love it. It's a wonderful market.
So we've been doing some refinances right now. And I was talking with a recruit, and they're saying, wanted me to price some things out, and it was on a refinance. And they're like, yeah, okay, so if I did a 2-1 buy down with this refinance, how would that look? I'm like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm actually using that a little bit, doing like a 1.5, 1.5, and then a half buy down with a refinance. So, we can get your
Looks
rate
even
down.
more attractive then.
Oh, it's even better, right? And saying, hey, rates are probably going to continue to trend. So why don't we pop there, and then over that period of time, over the next couple of years, rates will most likely trend down a little bit. And then once we get in that area where we can be, maybe we're in the 4s again, maybe we're low 5s, then we'll just lock it up.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound? They're like, oh, that sounds a great idea. I'm like, ah. So a lot of refinances going on right now. We have a lot of people that locked in the low 7s, mid 7s that we're just as fast as we can trying to get those people handled. And so it's been kind of fun. It feels good, right? It feels good to be busy. So I have a question for you. I always give you a bad time. Like, I sell more real estate for realtors than they do sometimes. Because these, outside of you guys, some people aren't as smart as you guys. So they were going to multiple offers, and they were going to go in with a contingent offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you don't, and I used your line, so you don't want to buy this house then.
Yeah, you want to
Right.
bid on
You don't want to buy this house then? Like, no, we do. We're like, well, then you can't make that offer. So I'm on the phone with them and the realtor, and like, gotta go non-contingent. Wow. Everybody's like wringing their hands on the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So they went in, though, and we did it non-contingent, figured out a way to find the money. We just have to find the money for a little bit of time, right? And they had to make enough money that they could carry both payments and stuff like that. So it was a good deal.
When it works, it's great. Right?
It's great.
And
right?
if you can be in that position, you're extremely fortunate, because not everybody can.
Right.
It allows you that flexibility. You can certainly compete in multiple offer situations, and it doesn't put as much pressure on you. I mean, that can be stressful to carry 2 mortgages for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't put as much pressure on you on that search then to say, I'm going to settle for this house, or I'm buying this house because I need to get moving now because I've sold my other one, as opposed to really going out, good solid effort on finding what's good for you and purchasing that right house. So if they can do it, great.
And then what we'll typically do is recast. And I had 2 clients call this week that said, okay, we sold our property. How do we recast this now?
Yeah.
So recasting is basically, because that was in this scenario, they're like, well, we don't want that payment to be that high.
Right.
Because they're only
Temporary.
putting 5% down. Like they'll have probably 20 to 25% down. Like, this is unreasonable. Yeah. So it's always so fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, we just exhale and just listen here. So what we're doing now is we're taking those big lump sums, going back, and we make that payment go down. The mortgage insurance does go away, right? Because we had 5% down, right? So you have mortgage insurance as well. There's some companies, though, why it's good to talk to Loan Depot, we will eliminate the mortgage insurance. Some companies force you to hold that mortgage insurance
for a couple
for 2 years
yet, yeah.
Regardless. So now,
on the recast, you can drop the MI.
we're dropping the MI as well, which is great.
Yeah,
right?
it's huge.
It's a big deal. Yeah. So now we're taking that, we're going down to that loan amount that they really want, and we re-amortize that loan. Now we're back to where everybody wanted to be.
So here's what I'm hearing, and which
Call
is
Calvin.
really so important.
That's it.
Is
That's it.
you sit down and you do the analysis,
right?
And you look at what is going to be the actual additional money you're going to spend,
right,
to make it happen. And so you'll come up with a dollar amount. There'll be a dollar amount there, an estimate, but still fairly close.
Yep.
And so it's going to be, if we do it this way, you're going to pay an additional $1,200 over the course of this thing until we recast. Yep. Is that house worth $1,200? Are you willing to lose that property for $1,200?
Yeah. That's in essence what it is. Right?
Now people can go, oh. Well, I wouldn't.
$1,200.
I wouldn't lose it for $1,200. So it's like, okay, well now we have an opportunity. Not saying you're going to get it because you're in multiples.
Yep.
But at least you're in the game because you come in contingent and you got 3 other offers non-contingent. You're just, unless those other 3 are just horrible.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to get.
You're just going to be kicked to the curb immediately.
They were going to go in at list price contingent.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
It's great.
Yeah.
So they ended up going in. So give me your opinion on this. I'd be curious. Junior, I want yours first because I know your answer.
Okay.
Give me, well, I still want to hear it, but I don't want you to influence it.
I won't influence.
I
never have. I haven't been able to influence him since he's 18. So
I know.
More like 15.
Yeah.
15-ish, 15, 16. Escalation clause. So they went in with an escalation clause. Let's say I think the home was $525. They said they'll do $2,000 over the highest offer up to $550.
What was it on the market for?
$525.
Oh. I mean, so escalation clauses, I think, have become more okay when there was 25 offers on a property. It was like, nope, we're in a strong position as a listing agent and say, nope, we're not messing around with that. Give us your best offer, and that's all we're going to do.
Okay.
And that's one opinion. And I think that opinion is better pushed on the other side when it's not just 2 offers.
Yes.
When there's 25, you're kind of like, we don't need your escalation clause.
Or you'll have dueling.
But when the house has been on the
escalation
market for 30 days and now you get 2 offers and one has an escalation clause, I'm not going to just set that one aside and say, give me your best offer. We're just going to consider what they brought to the table, because the seller, it's their decision ultimately. So we have time. There's less worry, especially when they've seen the house a couple times. That they're going to use the escalation clause to gain the home and then mess around with it later. So different markets, I might have a different opinion.
Okay.
So I would entertain it.
You'd entertain it.
Sure.
Senior?
I'll always entertain it, but I will use the escalation clause against them. So if they come in with an escalation clause that said they'll pay up to $550,
$550 is their top.
depending on what the other offers. I mean, it always depends on that.
Right.
So if I have one that's acceptable and similar, I would just counter back at $550. You just told me what your highest offer is going to be. I would just counter back at $550 and be done with it. Or I would go to another. Now here is where it comes into play with experience of working with people. It depends on the company.
Okay.
If it's XYZ out of your trunk real estate company, probably I would research the agent then, so I know who the agent is and the experience level of the agent, who the company is, and all that. Because you have a more higher likelihood of that transaction closing, depending on who the agent is.
Yeah.
So I may have an offer that I don't like as much, but I have an agent that I like better.
Yep.
Because the circumstances would be better for my seller. I would counter that one. Say, look, I got another offer over here that's up to $550. Would you go $550? And try to work it that way.
Okay.
But I know the number.
Yeah.
That's why I don't.
Kind of revealed their hand a
they
little
did.
bit.
They showed their hand. So my tendency would be is to use it
Right.
against them.
Yeah, that's great. See, that's youth, and it's you're just kinder. You're just like, no, it's $550 now. No, I'm just kidding. So we ended up winning that deal, $537. So they it's $535 was the highest. They came in at $537. We win the deal. Everybody's happy. And what we're doing is we're saying, how far out can we push the closing date? So now we have time, and maybe we don't even need to do any of this, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, let me put you out. Calvin's the best in the business. Call Calvin for all your purchase and refinance needs, especially refinances right now. Give them a call. They're busy. 651-231-2500. Calvin, thank you for all that knowledge. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk. That's it for this week. Call us, 612-627-8000, and log on to hittnergroup.com. See you next week.